Nigeria election, Buhari ahead in early counting. Three-man's anthem played by mistake at Argentina versus El Salvador game. Chile first death toll rises to 17 as cleanup begins. Kashmir floods, 15 killed in landslides. NSA shooting, one dead after car rams security gate. Assalamu alaikum. Here are the title. I am Fawzia Dewan with the Millennium News. Now the details. Partial results from Nigeria's election give ex-military ruler Muhammadu Buhari more votes than the incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan. However, populous states such as Lagos and Rivers are yet to declare. With just over half of Nigeria's states declared, Gen Buhari's All Progressives Congress was reported to be ahead by some 2 million votes. The counting of votes is due to continue at 10 local time, 9 GMT on Tuesday. Nigeria's Election Commission suspended the announcements of results late on Monday night after giving the results for 18 states and the capital Abuja. President Jonathan's People's Democratic Party gained 64,88,210 votes and Gen Buhari's APC party received 85,20,436 votes. Almost half of Nigeria's states have yet to declare their results. Several key states have yet to declare in the south, where Mr. Jonathan, a Southerner, enjoys strong support. The candidate with the most votes will only avoid a runoff if they gain at least 25% of the votes in two-thirds of Nigeria's 36 states. The BBC's Will Rose in Abuja says that at this point, neither side is mentioning the possibility of losing the election. Our correspondent says that international observers have broadly praised the conduct of the vote, but there has been some concern over possible efforts to rig the outcome during the count. Players slowly dropped their hands from their chests when the men's anthem blared from loudspeakers. Organizers of a friendly match between El Salvador and Argentina have apologized for wrongly playing the anthem for the Isle of Man. El Salvador fans whistled in disgust and their players were left baffled as the wrong anthem was played before the game in the United States on Saturday. CMS Sports said it took full responsibility for the honest mistake. El Venin, the man's name for the Isle of Man, and El Salvador are next to each other on the list of anthems. Argentina's Lionel Messi did not play in the 2-0 victory in Maryland. More than 50,000 spectators were inside the FedEx Field Stadium in Maryland to watch the exhibition match between El Salvador and Argentina. Many families have lost their homes in the northern Atacama region. Officials in Chile said 17 people were killed and 20 were still missing after flash floods devastated the Atacama region in the north of the country last week. The rains, which started on Tuesday, were the worst in 80 years to fall in the region, one of the driest on earth. Almost 11,000 people have been affected and more than 4,500 are in shelters. Interior Minister Rodrigo Panaleo said interior towns had been left without drinking water.
We as a country will have to put a lot of effort in to get out of this situation.
Mr. Panaleo said rivers burst their banks after heavy rains in the Andes sent floodwater down into the valleys and towns below. The desert town of Chañaral was among the hardest hit, with rivers of mud covering many of its streets. In Terra Amarela, emergency workers rescued 13 miners who had been cut off in a remote mining camp for 5 days. The search for 20 people still missing continues. Among the thousands who lost their home is Victor Zamora, one of the Chilean miners who was trapped underground for 69 days in 2010. He told local media that he had lost everything. It's a tragedy, he said. The mudslides hit houses in a village near the main city of Srinagar. At least 15 people have been killed in landslides following floods in Indian-administered Kashmir, officials said. Rescue workers said they had recovered the bodies from the debris of a landslide which buried homes in Chadora town. Some 200 families have been evacuated after torrential rain and a surge in the water level of the Jamul River. More than 200 people died in September in what was described as the worst flooding in Kashmir in a half-century. Police said the mudslides had hit houses in Chadora, some 15 km west of the main city of Srinagar. Rescue workers had recovered 15 bodies from the debris of townhouses. Police official Fayaz Ahmed told Associated Press news agency. Muhammad Sultan, a villager, said the ground above the houses collapsed without warning. All of them just suddenly got buried alive. Now they are nowhere to be found, he said. Although it has stopped raining and the water level in the Jhelum has receded, more rain is forecast later this week. Authorities have set up 20 relief camps and urged people living in low-lying areas to move to higher ground. Last September's floods affected more than 1.2 million people and damaged more than 180,000 houses in the state. Several police agencies were on the scene. One man has been killed and another was seriously wounded after a shooting at a gate to the U.S. National Security Agency headquarters near Washington. NSA officers fired on a vehicle that refused to follow commands and charged a police vehicle blocking the road. An unnamed official told the Associated Press that the men inside the car were dressed as women. One of the car's occupants died on the scene, while the other was injured and taken to a local hospital. The incident began shortly after 9 local time, 14 GMT, when at least 2 people attempted to drive the vehicle into the National Security Agency section of the Fort Meade facility. The NSA, in a rare public statement, said that the driver refused to obey the NSA police officer's commands to exit the secure area. The vehicle changed toward the NSA vehicle, which it slammed into as police fired on it, the statement said. The statement does not mention anyone other than NSA police firing a weapon. Helicopter footage of the scene recorded shortly after the incident showed 2 cars, one a police vehicle and the other a black vehicle with no insignia, with extensive damage in a junction that had been dropped off near the security gates leading to the NSA. The cars appeared to have collided and burst was trained across the intersection. A white cloth appeared to cover something beside the black vehicle. The FBI has taken the lead on the investigation. We do not believe it is related to terrorism. FBI Baltimore spokeswoman Amy Thurston told the BBC. President Barack Obama was verified on the incident, according to White House officials. The large Fort Meade campus, located about 30 minutes outside Washington, is home to about 40,000 military and civilian personnel, plus many members of employees' family. The facility houses the U.S. Cyber Command, the U.S. Defense Information School, and other agencies in addition to the NSA. The NSA is a clandestine intelligence agency charged with collecting and analyzing electronic signals for U.S. intelligence and counterintelligence purposes. The agency rose to prominence after Edward Snowden leaked thousands of the agency's documents in 2013. Earlier this month, the FBI arrested a man for firing shots that damaged the building from a nearby highway. There is no indication the 2 incidents are linked. Before heading into the end of the news, once more. Nigeria election, Buhari ahead in early counting. 3-man's anthem played by mistake at Argentina versus El Salvador game. Chile floors death toll rises to 17 as cleanup begins. Kashmir floods, 15 killed in landslides. And as the shooting, 1 dead after car rams security gate. This was News Millennium. Any news, log on to the millenniumtv.net. Stay here with us. Allah Hafiz.